16 gigs of RAM. And then I have 12 gigs. I have 16, 26. I have 28 gigs of RAM total. 16 gigs DDR, whatever RAM they have for this. The Z Fold 7 phone. It's the 1 terabyte global unlocked version. So you can use within your carrier. And I get pretty good 5G signals with it. But it's supposed to react to sound, but alright, just stretching and warming up. Usually takes a minute to get a few viewers in. Though that does lag the YouTube's number. And there's a lot of issues. If you go to your YouTube studio, you'll see notifications if you post any videos of it telling you there's issues with posting in that region. Sorry. Then I got another message this morning. Now you can post 2 videos same time with no issue. This was like the title of the notification. It's like, why are they sending all these things out, all these issued messages instead of just fixing it? But yeah. But yeah, stretching still. So you see the title, we're going to do some hammer curls today. So I like the bend, you got to bend the elbows a little slightly, don't do it stiff. Though you can lock your set if you want to do a full rep, but it's just better on the, trying to pump the muscle, you know. We'll stretch anyway, so we're not worried about that. But either way, you could do full reps, partial reps, where your rep stretches the most, if you're just trying to muscle pump. Stretching the, here, stretching the back, delts, arms, even the lats a little. And a lot of places in the back you can feel it stretching. Your traps if you lean into it enough. And try to, when you first do it, you start out like this, and then you slowly try to stand up while keeping this straight, and then lift your neck straight. And then kind of depress the shoulders and try to continue. Instead of it hunched up, try to, you can do both. Stretch all of it. But yeah, stretching is really good. You want to do at least a few stretches. I want to keep doing those leg stretches every day until it doesn't hurt anymore. And then I'm going to do it maintenancely. But while it still hurts, I still got more position to go back and back and back. Let me hit a set with this though. I'll do some toe touches. I'll do some more cow stretches in a minute. But you'll see the title, it talks about how the bigger grip helps work your muscles and your biceps just a little better. And even some of your traps and muscles in your back and pectoral, and as well as tighten your core. To help tighten the core just helps protect the spine when you're moving something heavy. Even when you're doing push-ups, I say tighten the core because it helps protect your spine and keep your back straight. Keep your back straight and tighten the core. Yeah, being a handyman, these hammer curls definitely come into play. I am swinging in a hammer position a lot, or picking something up in that position. You want to try to get a good rhythm going and stay in your rhythm. I'll switch it up every 5 reps or 10 reps sometimes. I might go the angle. And then we'll switch, work on the more forearm. Remember, it's 20 muscles in the forearm. I depress the shoulders, bend it, bend a little bend in the elbow. You can do some wrist flexations too, like this. Work on your wrist. Or even upside down, like reverse preacher curl, kind of. And just use the wrist. It's a good wrist exercise. You can pump it and just do partial reps. Or do all the way the wrist roll. Let it roll on the finger a little. It's like wrist curls when you let it roll on the finger. But so again, depress the shoulders. We'll do some more of those. Oh, that's the company too. But if you look it up, you'll see just a bunch of commercial jobs. Like removing and replacing chandelier, or adding new one, or taking down a whole drywall display in the wall and putting up a whole new weird design with different weird shaped drywall. Or adding some weird framing, like in the Ted Baker store. I did that one. But yeah, I record all of it. I did like 3 Timberland stores I did stuff at. That was like pretty big electrical. And the Kipling, the backpack store, those monkey backpack design. Kipling. I did like a level 5 finish wall, which took a while, and I had to explain to them what level 5 means. Level 5, yeah, it's gonna be a few days. But yeah, they ended up working out. Then they added another thing where we're moving this huge desk with all this electrical everywhere that's coming out of the floor, and had to remove it and get rid of those at the ground, so put a new desk in that was smaller and add the electrical in there, and put a TV on a really huge TV, like 100-inch, whatever it was, 80-inch. It was some really huge TV I had to put on the wall, bigger than 70-inch. Can't remember what it was, but it helps. Yeah, lifting TV on the wall, but. Press the shoulder, put a little slight bend. Alright, now I'm just gonna hit some of these real quick. I'm working on the traps though, and the lats. This one I'm just focused on the lats. I go slow going down. And you can lean forward a little, 5, 10, 15. Each one, it starts engaging in the back, because then you're pushing downwards, so you're going to be activating more back muscles in. But you can still work on the same. And you can work on the traps when you lean forward just 10 degrees. But it's the same. You'll start to feel the different back muscles. It's like that's a different exercise. Even though it's same movement, just a little tilted. That's what I mean, little increments and variable shifts and push-ups and whatever. Pull-ups, dumbbell exercises, weight machine. The same on the weight machine. It's a different increments, work different muscles. The machines will tell you that. So like if you slide the seat back 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, all the way to 12, you'll usually see a sheet up there showing what each time you move that seat, just the bottom part and the top part too. It'll show which muscle that it highlights and that it's the name of a different workout. So when people say, "Oh, you're doing it wrong. You're supposed to be here," well, there's literally, I mean, there's each one is working. You're working out something. It's like you can't tell someone that they're not working out a muscle. Like, well, something has to be lifting the weights, right? Might not be the muscle they're targeting, you know. But that's why you gotta just do a little research, read, just like you did in school. Read, study, research, look into it more than a little bit. Don't try to just pass the test by studying the night before. You know, you gotta do a whole committed study, put hours into it. I'd say it takes at least, I don't know, if I put a good 10 hours into studying something, like an entire full day, by the end of that day I can know enough about that one part, you know. But it's all it takes. How do you think you pass classes in school? You see examples and blah 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 and study, and you know, it's the same thing, except in class you got a whatever percentage failure rate. It's the same thing out here when people have a chance to study and research online or YouTube. You'll hear, "Oh, YouTube doesn't work, blah blah blah." It probably doesn't for a majority of people. Those same people probably didn't study well in school. You know, they probably were talking and got kicked out and maybe got a C or D average. You know, not everybody's A and B, you know. So, but imagine now you have the chance, you're not in school anymore, get in there and research and learn something. Learn a trade, electrician, plumbing, blah, blah, blah. Open your own company, order the materials, get the tools as you need it. I mean, it's not that, but don't go practicing on a client's house, practice somewhere else, you know. Like if I get a job and it's something I can't do, I'll tell the client it's something I can't do, or I'll sub it out. Well, I won't say that, I'll sub it out to someone who can. But yeah, but after you get confident and practicing and getting experience, remember there's a difference between experiencing and just winging it. Like DIY or professional, you can see if someone did crown molding the first time, it's going to be a bunch of gaps and silicone everywhere. Or if someone like me did it, who's done a bunch of trim work, I can easily make those miters really tight and perfect. You don't need to put silicone. That's my rule. If you use silicone on my job, I'm gonna like, you're not doing good enough. I can't use you. Maybe for something else, but you don't want to use silicone. That's the height of mistakes. If you're a good enough craftsman, you should be able to practice enough after your first 1,000 yards of whatever kind of trim. But stretch a little bit in between reps. See, stretching your muscle. You want to stretch the muscle in between reps. You don't want your muscle to be really tight and congested up. You know, you want to pump it up, but you also want it to get longer too. That's just heightened up. I like using the dumbbells to do the toe touches because it helps pull you down. Or even in the military school, when we would sit down and someone would come behind you and push your back down and your hands would touch the ground and go out as far as it can. And we will hold, you know, until, you know, however many seconds, and then we switch and do it again. But this is similar to that, except instead of someone pushing on my back slightly, I have this to hold me down. So that helps do the toe touches pretty good. You want to make sure nothing's bent, that your joints are tight. You want to make sure you feel the pain from the stretch. If you don't feel the pain, you're not stretching. And if you're not willing to do that, then I don't know what to tell you. You've got to go through the pain to get the gain. Whew, okay. Alright, do a few more of those leg stretches. I'm doing these leg stretches every day until they quit hurting. Take off the shoes. Put the shin flat against the wall, the knee. Put my hand on the knee and kind of help lift it up. Making sure that sometimes you got to check and push back that knee, make sure it stays flat and up like a 90. And slowly support yourself. It's wobbly with the first few times, but after you start to get it. Yep, I can still feel the pain. It's good though. You can feel it totally pulling right here, all the way up and down. So you want to try to, yes, when I first started, I could do it like this. And then I went all the way back yesterday. So I'm just doing the same. And the further out you can put that knee is good too. And I kind of put my elbow, forearm on the knee after I get up and kind of push myself up. Or the hands, whichever. Or one hand there and one hand on the wall, or the wall if you're gonna go up higher. And just hold it. It's hurting now, I'm just holding it. Or talking or breathing to get through the pain. Same thing when you're working out. You want to get through that muscle pain of, you want to tear the muscle, let the muscle heal. After it heals, tear it again, let the muscle heal. If you keep tearing the muscle, it'll never heal and it'll take a while to get your gains, is the theory. So that's why a lot of bodybuilders like sleep and rest, because they need their muscles to heal and recover. Or that's why a lot of people use steroids, so they can recover quickly. But yeah, I would never use, something like that. I'm sure it would do a so-called physical benefit, but have internal damage long-term, possibly forever. All right, so we're gonna do our burnouts for the day. I've already passed the 2-week limit, but I'm like, well, let's keep hitting them. Ready? And I'm gonna count every 20 or 10, or however many. That way I can focus on it, because it's kind of fast. You want to get that burn and the maximum about half of the bounce or so of a full rep, and then after the 100, follow it up with 10 full reps, so you'll be at like 110. I did a little extra, like 120 or 30 yesterday or day before. But, well, let me check the comments, just in case the sound check. Oh, and if you could hear me, can you let me know? Can you type a... Yeah, I'm gonna start it now. $30. $50. $70. $100. Woo! Going slow on these last ones. Okay, 110, 111. We'll call it 110. Stretch. That's important with these, I'm telling you. I'm stretching the triceps because that's what I was working on. But I'll stretch the legs too. Okay. Sorry, the camera's in push-up position. Alright, so that's our burnouts, 110. We'll do those every day, 10 reps a day. Now I'm doing more. I'm trying to work on these cosmic push-ups before I go online explaining, even though I did give a sneak peek by putting a thumbnail showing me doing the cosmic push-up. But I'm trying to get my rep count up on those before I go online doing them so I don't get burned out really quick. Whew. But even if these did burn me out, I still would always do my first set max. Not max, but close to it. But yeah, it gets that tricep good, the back arms. I call them back arms burnouts. But forearms are getting there. But I do have a bad back, but That's why I'm exercising. That's why I exercise and stretch. And actually, the more I exercise and stretch, the better my bad back supposedly is, feeling. But yes, my back, sometimes it'll feel like I get pinched, and I'll just like fall down in the kitchen like I get stuck, and and it's usually like that's usually from disc touching or something with a nerve. That's usually when I'm doing like a big, I'll take on like tree jobs sometimes, or like in those drywall jobs. Sometimes you get drywall jobs where they're regular drywall, 4 by 8 feet, and then sometimes you get the bigger, bigger than 4 feet, 5, all the way to 8 by 10 feet. And might have to unload 200 sheets of those, and you want to try to carry 2 at a time, 1 at a time, but 2 to try to speed things up. And yeah, and then putting them on the drywall lift and looking up all day, working on the ceiling. So now when I work on drywall ceilings, I'll 1 day ceiling, 1 day wall. That way my neck isn't like this all day, looking up with a screw gun or with a drywall gun. But yeah, definitely the drywall gun with the collated strips. Definitely for the ceiling anyway. The rest of the place, that's too expensive because they're like $30 to $50 for a bucket of those screws when you can get 5,000 normal drywall screws for less than $50 for the good ones. So I'd rather just use that in an impact with a dimple. But yeah, I got my saw back yesterday. I had to go to the clients to pick it up. They were good clients, nothing bad to say. I was supposed to only do 1 day work, but they had other jobs for me, and I pretty much almost completed those. I got like half of their list, because they had a list of stuff. I was like, yeah, I can work on the list when I'm done with this. And then on the thing for the oven, I offered, the task was originally just cut the hole, and I offered to build a platform, and then to set the oven in. But then I said, if you got any trim, just to be nice, I'll throw it around, because after I cut, you're going to want to put like trim around that. Just like when you have a door frame, you want to put that white door trim around the edges, the picture frame and the door frame. The same thing on when you trim a cabinet. You got the face frame that covers the wood. So this now needed a frame there because of the cut, for the oven to go in. And they're all cut. You can see the edge of the wood, which was a hickory color, but the cut, it was white because it was stained. And they could have stained it, but I sanded it smooth with a detail sander. That way it wasn't dust everywhere. But yeah, there's some more hammer curls after doing those. And some more forearms. Stretch a little bit after that. Some more toe touches. It also pulls your arms down as well as your legs. That's why I like doing these. Whew. Some more arm rotations to end it. Oh yeah, and I gotta do a set of squats. No matter what workout you do, hit 1 set of squats when you're done to release that natural growth hormone. Not the aphrodisiac, the natural growth hormone that you get from the lower body that affects all your muscle. So, yeah. So definitely recommend that. So. 40, and then backwards. 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 7. 1, 2, 3, 8. 1, 2, 3, 9. 1, 2, 3, 10. 10 times 4 is 40. Because we go 1, 2, 3, 1. So every 1 is 4. So you count it. It's a brain thing. If you were to count to 40, you probably like that's too much numbers. But just, and it's a focus thing. You're focusing on counting the numbers and keeping your form. That you don't even realize it starts to burn when you get to like the, if you haven't done it before, when you get to like 30. So it'll start burning all up in here. It's a good, because your tricep has 3 muscles. The back and both sides. So this gets one of the sides. But the burnouts activate all 3 of them. So that's why I like doing those. But yeah, double tap the screen. That's just what you can't blame me for saying that. Every channel I go to, tap, 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 tap. There's going to be some tippity tap, tap song. Or do a drum roll on the screen. Somebody's got to make a song, I've been saying. Like, share, subscribe, double tap and hype. It didn't go live. Oh, this guy doesn't know what. Yeah, bro just has sarcasm. He must be a teenager. He ain't lived long enough to be a man yet. Let's get him out of here. Sorry, bro. If you're hating, I'm just gonna get you up out of there. Don't be a hater in life, bro. You want people hating on you all day? Nah. You give what you get. Just saying. I don't want to become my environment. And if my environment's full of haters, I gotta, you know what I mean? What is hide user on this channel? Does that just hide them from me, or does it hide them from everybody? What's up, Ramsey? Am I saying that right, Ramsey? No, we just did 110 burnouts. A burnout is when you're pumping this part and you're going just from here to maybe here. You just do 100 of them straight, and then you follow up with 10 full reps. So first you only lock the elbow halfway, and then you do it full way. And it's not all I do. If I did all that, I would never recommend just doing those, but it's something to add to the normal workout. Even you can look up Ronnie Coleman, what's his name, Sam Shillette, whatever his name is, the bodybuilder, the one. Whole bunch of Richard Piana. They always tell you about partial reps, max stretching is something you definitely have to add for muscle growth. And I showed a result. I never had veins in my arm. They're starting to pop out. Probably can't see it now. They're starting to come out now from just doing the burnouts and the curls. So, yeah, it's like, whoa. But, yeah, I'm gonna get all these removed one day. I just have this stuff on there. I don't smoke or vape anymore, so it's regrets. No regrets. Remember the guy that got regret spelled wrong? Regrets? I forgot that's from. Alright, do some more of those. We're gonna do some more forearm. The same as the cable machine. I like this better because for the wrist, but for stability, if you're having pain with your back or anything like that, I would say use the rope. Because the rope has a little more give, it's more slimmer to hold, and just the form, because it's not like stiff like that. You're not like forced to go whatever way this thing goes. You're able to pull it towards you the way your muscles want to pull it. So I like the double ropes. But Now I'm doing 4 reps. But slow going down. That way you have to use that forearm control. And slower, better push-ups, anything, of course it's going to work on the inner strength. That's why I like doing my full push-ups slow. If your full push-ups are slow, then your explosive push-ups are going to be a higher rep. And if you work on your planks and you tighten your core and do that core exercises, your push-up reps are going to go up. So, but yeah, the most full push-ups locked all the way up and down I can do is 150. Burnouts, the most I can do is 200 with maybe a rep of 5 or, yeah, I'd say 5 after that. Yeah, so 200, 205. So 200 burnouts, 5 push-ups, consistent without getting up. That's as much as I can do in one full set without stopping up top more than a second to breathe. And that's just when I finish the burnout. And then I believe in don't stay up top because you're going to get tired or by sitting there holding it. You know, but I know there's that one guy that does the push-ups all day long, and he's doing the Guinness record, but you're going to have to get somebody to approve. Those are all full rep push-ups, blah, 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 that's a hard thing to clear. Or were they all perfect form and the same kind and all that? And does stopping the drink and eat count, because you would keep food and energy and stuff like that next to him, and water. So it's like, does that... I don't know. I wonder who can do the most without eating and stuff. You know, because they say when you feel hunger, that hunger only lasts for 3 or 4 days. That feeling of hunger. After that, your body is beginning and already started the process of eating its own fat. That hunger feeling will go away, and you'll have a few weeks to live without food, but only days to live without water, of course. Rain and noon. Double tap the screen. What's up, Romty? Thanks for the light. Whew. All right, y'all. I know I had 400 viewers the last time I was on, or like, when was that? That was when my video would not upload, and I had to delete it. It had no sound. I was like, man, it sounds like YouTube forcefully messes up people's video who start to beat the algorithm. That way they can guarantee their customers who pay for to be promoted in front of other people's when they search keywords. So I don't know. It's like making sure people don't mess up the algorithm anymore. The videos start getting muted and stuff. Vem, Pepe. Muito bom. E beijo. Você quer o beijo? E beijo. Eu tomo beijo por você, Pimpim. Passei a breves. É muito bom. Obrigado. Tudo bem, Pimpim? Tudo bem, cachorrozinhos? Mais vinhozinhos. E gostosozinho. Gostoso cachorro. E delicious doggy. E gostoso cachorros. Come on, let's do some more push-ups. You ready? You ready to do push-ups? 1, 2, 3. You push you up. You ready to go feed the ducks? You want to go see the swans? Yesterday I got to pet the swans. Mother Nature, that one. Yeah, we did. We got to pet the swans. If they would have bit us, that would have been hilarious. But no, they know me for, they can live to be 50 years old, guys, swans, 40 to 50 years. And like I've said in a few other videos, they're a sign in biblically, which is where a lot of history is discovered and comes from. But they were discovered biblically to be a sign of good fortune from, I read every day, a daily reader. But I don't have a political stance, I just believe in the Creator. The universe, good luck, Jesus, karma, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I believe in the creator. I believe in someone created, just like we had the ability to create. I guess that's how we're made in his image. But all right, you guys ready to go for a walk? All right, we're gonna do 20 more diamonds, maybe 25, 20. Just to throw something on top of the burnouts, just to make them a little tougher. Then I'll hit one more set of the hammer curls. Just catching my breath, talking, waiting for people to visit the live a little bit. Top chat. Oh, what's up, Sarah? Sarah Drustanek. Where is that from? Drustanek? Is that a last name or a word for something else? Pepe. It's live action. Hold on. Ready? Remember, I believe in, I don't care who argues with me. Lift your head up. That's what I was always taught in military school, football workouts, whatever. And it makes sense, especially when you're in a team. Or like, I imagine if you're in the Marines or even something like that. You're in a team, you're all in a grid. And you need to pay attention to what's going on around you. That's why it's important to lift your head up. And they would always, well, I didn't know that at first either. They'd always, Smith, lift your head up. And everybody start over because Smith wants to not lift his head up. And everybody would be in push up and look over. Sound like Spartans looking at you all at once. You know, okay, let me humble myself, lift my head up for all these guys get mad at me. But only like one or two guys might have been upset, but then I ended up being the leader of that unit anyway. Yeah, I told that story. So I was the leader just of the PT early in the morning. You know, I would just lead the line there, and the double single file line, everyone stand at attention. Yeah. Then afterwards, we'd play football, basketball for an hour, and you could not play football or basketball after PT at 5:30 in the morning, sometimes 6. No, it was usually 5:30 every time, but once in a while we'd have to, someone show up late and we'd have to wait till 6. But yeah, if you didn't stretch, you weren't allowed to play football or basketball. It was important. Most people didn't like stretching. I was one of them, but I saw the benefits when I would see people break their arm, pull their leg, hurt their neck, and it was always the people who forgot to stretch. So that always stuck in my brain, and that burnt and had an impression on me for working out the rest of my life ever since then. But anyway, yeah, lifting the head up, looking forward. Don't bob your head down. You're gonna hit your nose or your chin or your hat, whatever. Anyway, so you might as well just let your chest bounce off the ground, or almost. If it is, make it quick. Don't let it rest down there. And diamond, you gotta make the diamond. You can't leave a space. Make the thumb touch. Make the pointer finger touch. And then slap it on the floor. All the way up, down. Explosive after doing all that workout and burnouts. Yeah. Area, you witnessing? Good. Okay, double tap. I did more than 20, but double tap. Gotta keep some in the tank. Know what I mean? 1, 2, 3, 1. Whew. Vem, Sachi. Sachi, Sachi Wachi. You passear, pum pum. My other dog, Aria, gets jealous when I tell Sachi, let's go passear. She'll bark, woo woo, because she wants me to pick her up. Because I treat Sachi as a little baby, see? Hey, yoga. Boom boom in the sky. Boom boom zinho. Vem, pula, pula. Vem, não. Vem, vem. No, vem, andar, baby. Yeah, what are you doing, huh? You gordinho. Nice stretch. Alright, now we're going to go for the walk. Do one more dumbbells. Squats. Gotta make that. You want to make the workout count. Do the squats at the end. Just one set. I like to add the weights close to my here, or if they're not like 20 pounds, or they're like these, like 8 or 10 pound ones. Just those I'm not scared to hold out because it kind of helps balance. And you don't want your knees to go past your toes. You want them right underneath to the middle of your foot. So you want to lean back a little bit. You don't want to fall over. So this kind of helps anchor. A little stretch again. Remember, the dumbbells help hold down, so you don't have to have so much force to hold it down. Okay. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll be live again later, or tomorrow, something. My jobs are usually pretty quick. Except the last one I spent like 6-7 hours there. Usually it's like a 2-hour job. Usually I'll go and like replace a door, charge $300-400, but it takes like an hour or two. But it's still custom work. Or fix like the other time I went to fix the sliding door. I give a deal for that for I think $220. Sometimes I'll do $500 if it's a big door. But just to change the roller wheels, usually I have to pay someone to come with me in case I need help. Last time I didn't, so they just stayed in the car and waited for me, and it's pretty quick. And I did another sliding door before that, really quick ones, like 2-hour ones. But yeah, the longer ones I ended up doing like a daily rate, trying to give a good deal, but I don't know what happened, but yeah, that's the daily rate thing. Usually you get taken advantage of, so it's better just to charge for the result. That way, if you don't fix it, you don't charge nothing, you go home. I learned that lesson a long time ago. But if you want to get the client, you promise on the result. Like, okay, you want this done? Okay, you'll pay me when this is done. And I don't charge for material, nothing. I'll go buy my own material. And just keep the receipt, and I'll make a contract if it's over a certain amount. But yeah, I have mostly good reviews. I have one scammer that tried to blackmail me. First he tried to get me to hire him for fake reviews. I told him no thanks. I said I think that's illegal anyway. I don't know how these businesses are allowed to even offer that kind of thing. Because it's supposed to be illegal to do fake reviews, but then you got these fake review companies advertising on TV everywhere. So yeah. But you can usually tell by going on the account of the person who left the review if it's a bot account or what. But anyway, when I said no and I told him that was illegal, I ended up getting a bad review the next day from somewhere I've never been. And I commented, on that review like, hey, this is a scam. I never met this person, and they never wrote back to the reply. So yeah, and I tried to pin it to Google, telling them, hey, this isn't a real review, and they never write back. And that's been like 4 or 5 years ago. But I think my most recent review was earlier this month. Yeah, it was like December 29th or January 2nd or something like that. But I got another 5-star one. And that's my business there, the handyman. Whew. Alright, this is Make with Mike. I gotta go take care of the babies, and I'll see you guys later. Love, peace, and hair grease. Yeah.